The Glock 19 is an awesome handgun and is considered a staple firearm for personal defense, home defense, and anything in between. But you may forget the Glock 19 if you can get and stumble over any of these guns that I'm about to show you here. What's up, everyone? This is your boy Ted from Line 45, and today I will showcase some next-level guns that are way better than Glock 19. But first, let me do this quick plug. Hit the like and subscribe button. You can see all those buttons below this video. I know it feels like a hassle, but those simple clicks mean a lot for my channel. Now, let's get back to the good stuff. Sig Sauer P365 Fuse. The original P365 is a small gun, and its rival is definitely the Glock 43 or Glock 43X. But that changed with the release of the P365 Fuse. With this pistol, you can finally set aside your Glock 19, especially if you are itching for something new and robust. It's significantly larger than the original P365, but slightly smaller than the G19. It's 7.2 inches long and features a 4.3-inch carbon steel barrel. So far, I am quite sure that this is the longest P365 available in the market. But wait, why is it called Fuse? Well, Sig Sauer answered that by describing this pistol as the quote-unquote fusion of capability and concealment. So even if it's a concealable handgun, the Fuse has some of the features you would want from an everyday carry firearm, such as its flat-face trigger, optics-ready slide, and irons that can co-witness with RMSC footprint red dots. However, it's quite certain that the best-selling feature of the P365 Fuse is its capacity. At its maximum, the gun can hold up to 21 rounds of 9mm, which is insane on so many levels. It packs more bullets so that you can survive sustained or prolonged fights when needed. Plus, it is slim and stout, so there's nothing that should stop you from using this pistol as your primary concealed carry firearm. It has the kind of reliability that a Glock 19 possesses, so I don't really see any reason as to why you should hesitate on this gun. Kimber R7 Mako Carbon Compact. Another gun that could easily cure your Glock addiction is the Kimber R7 Mako, specifically its carbon compact version. So you probably know that the R7 Mako was originally a micro-compact pistol with a capacity of around 11 to 13 rounds. Ever since it was introduced in the market in 2017, the R7 Mako became an instant hit. The R7 Mako Carbon Compact features a new frame, completely different from what is being offered in the Mako pistol. This frame, though still built from polymer, already has a carbon fiber-infused matrix, which makes the gun extremely tough to break. Moreover, the frame is modular since you can swap its backstrap. From what I know, 4 backstraps ship with the gun, so you really have the option to tailor-fit this gun to fit your requirements. The Glock 19, on the other hand, is modular. That simply makes sense, considering that Glock has the biggest aftermarket right now. The only thing that I am concerned about is that even though the two have modular backstraps, the R7 Mako Carbon Compact is the more ergonomic one. Aside from its flared magwell, the controls of the R7 Mako are fully ambidextrous, such as its slide lever and magazine release. It also doesn't use plastic sights, such as what Glock is doing. In particular, the R7 Mako Compact uses the TrueGlow tritium night sights, which are formed by white rings on its rear and a standard orange front ring. Springfield Echelon 4.5F Comp. Oh, who would have thought that the Echelon would become a big hit in the market? But really, this gun is built to be great. And yes, even the base model of the Echelon is already miles better than the Glock 19 in terms of ergonomics and innovation. So you can really expect a lot more with its 4.5-inch barreled model. I am confident in saying this stuff because, really, when did Glock 19 have an integral compensator on its own? With a compensator, you can make the gun as flat-shooting as possible. It redirects gas upward, which of course reduces recoil and muzzle flip. In practice, this should allow the pistol to do quick follow-ups in any given situation. The compensator of this Springfield pistol is placed at the top of its hammer-forged slide and barrel, which is a familiar setup you can find on other compensated guns. The build quality of the Echelon 4.5F Comp is really something else for its price. It still uses the original features of the base Echelon, such as its central operating group, or, in other words, its modular serialized FCU. It also has a variable interface system, which is another fantastic feature of the original Echelon. I know it's not a universal mounting platform, but it sure does act like one. It can directly mount an extensive number of green and red dots. But even its U-notch tritium sights are more than enough to give you a sharp and crisp target picture. Capacity-wise, the Glock 19 has no say on this pistol. Its flush-fit clip holds up to 17 rounds, and it even includes a 20-round magazine. But of course, you can also get a 10-round version of the Echelon 4.5F Comp if you are in a state with ammo restrictions. CZ P-09 Nocturne. CZ typically beats Glock in many aspects, but there is no hate for Glock. I am just stating cold, hard facts here. A good pistol to establish this argument is the P-09 Nocturne, which is the latest iteration of one of CZ's famed handguns. The P-09, which was introduced sometime in 2013, got people buying it because of its exceptional quality, straightforward assembly, and accurate performance on the range. However, it has one critical error. The gun wasn't cut for optics. I know that it took time before CZ had to act on this issue, but we are already here. Beggars can't be choosers. So, while I think that CZ should have introduced the P-09 years ago, that thought is already inconsequential since the Nocturne is already on the table. As I mentioned, the P-09 Nocturne has a cut on its optics, so it definitely has the platform to take on those red or green dots. Again, if you don't have a MOS Glock, you won't have a factory-cut slide in your Glock 19. This puts the P-09 Nocturne in a good spot. You don't have to pay extra for it to be optics ready. Plus, there's also this solid point that its irons can co-witness with the optics efficiently. The P-09 is available in two models. One has a 4.5-inch barrel, and the other has a 3.75-inch barrel. The 4.5-inch model gets a 19+1 round magazine, while the 3.75-inch barrel has a flush-fit capacity of 15+1 rounds. Of course, both are chambered in 9mm. It's also worth mentioning that the P-09 Nocturne has a redesigned frame. It's starkly different from the frame used by the original P-09. The key differences lie in the texturing and ergonomics. Needless to say, the Nocturne got better in those departments, which is why it's very easy to shoot and control. Even I appreciate its deep and properly spaced serrations on its slide, which is way better than any Glock can offer. The serrations allow for more secure and efficient slide manipulation, especially under wet or high-stress conditions, by reducing slippage and enhancing control during racking or clearing malfunctions. Walther PDP Compact Steel Frame. The Walther PDP steel frame is a strong candidate for the handgun of the year in 2024. The PDP is already an exceptional lineup of striker-fired guns, even if they are only using polymer frames. It's a better gun than a Glock 19, so it should not come as a surprise that an all-steel version of the PDP can obliterate the Glock 19 completely. This thing is quite hefty and is significantly heavier than your typical polymer guns. The compact PDP SF is roughly 38 ounces when inserted with an empty mag. Of course, this is such a big deal, considering that such weight is enough to tame the usual recoil of 9mm rounds. It has a capacity of 15+1 rounds, which is just fitting for its size. Of course, it follows that it has enough space where you can fully grip a 3-finger grip. The 4-inch match-grade barrel is just solid, and throughout multiple tests, it remains stable and capable of taking care of different 9mm ammo. In terms of reliability, the PDP compact steel frame is also astounding. It easily matches the Glock 19 when it comes to its department, as it feeds and shoots with zero malfunctions. So even the best selling point of a Glock gun can be matched by this Walther pistol. And unlike the standard Glock 19, the PDP Compact SF has an optics-ready slide. In Glock, you gotta have to get an MOS model before your favorite G-gun can be tossed in with red dots. And of course, I have to emphasize that the steel PDP has insane accuracy, given the way it's designed and the substantial amount of materials used on it. That's it for now. Thanks for watching. If you liked this video, please hit the subscribe button and notification bell. Just press all the buttons. Those little clicks are free, but they help the channel a lot. Stay sharp, stay safe, and remember, it's not just about the shot, it's about mastering the craft. Until next time, lock and load.